typically ignore it. In fact, men are half as likely to have a regular source of health care as women. We take it for granted that women live longer than men. This is the case in over 98% of the countries in the world. In the United States, average life expectancy is almost 5 years longer for women than for men, 76.3 years for men versus 81.1 years for women. Almost 5 years! Why? Why is it that for every major cause of mortality that affects both men and women, men die faster? Are men genetically programmed to die sooner than women? Is it determined in our genes that men develop cancer and heart disease more often than women? No. Men have a 60% higher chance of developing cancer and a 40% higher chance of dying from cancer than women, even when you leave out gender-specific cancers like breast, cervical, and prostate cancers. In fact, men have an increased risk of mortality, both cancer-related and non-cancer-related, at all ages. Of the top 10 causes of death in the United States, men are winning in 9 of them. The difference in lifespan between men and women has been relatively unexamined because it has been assumed to be based on biology. But this does not appear to be the case. For one, the extent of the gender gap in life expectancy changes across time and across countries. In the United States, the gap has been narrowing from 7.8 years in 1979 to 4.8 years in 2011. If the gender gap were encoded in our genes, it would not be changing so much over time. The change is thought to be due to women increasingly taking on stresses and habits that used to affect mostly men, such as smoking, drinking alcohol, and working outside the home, while men are still less likely to lead a health-promoting lifestyle. Clearly, there is more to the gender gap than our genes. Perhaps masculinity itself is killing us. It seems that doctor avoidance, risk-taking behavior, and stress may be the best explanations for the gender gap. It is true that men just don't go to the doctor. Men are twice as likely as women to say they do not have a usual source of health care, and men attend half as many preventive care visits. This means there are only half as many opportunities to screen men for high blood pressure, obesity, high cholesterol, high blood sugar, substance abuse, cigarette smoking, depression, and anxiety. Not identifying such risks means fewer chances to intervene in a disease process before it results in a heart attack, a stroke, diabetes, or cancer. Male gender roles may play a part in making men feel that they should deal with symptoms or illness on their own. Just as men typically don't ask for directions when lost, they may feel it is not masculine to seek help for potentially serious medical symptoms. But it is not all us guys' fault. Too often the visit to our healthcare practitioner is perfunctory and unrevealing. The typical annual physical is unlikely to be beneficial, as has been shown by the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force. Some healthcare providers, such as myself, are offering more impactful prevention-oriented annual exams, but most are just not changing the way they do yearly checkups. Still, to the extent that higher mortality can be explained by avoidance of the healthcare system, it is important to make resources available that are more relevant, impactful, and accessible to men. There is a need for an approach to men's health that addresses men's specific concerns, such as sexual function, prostate issues, avoidance of heart disease, and maintaining healthy weight and optimal performance in a way that is responsive, approachable, and thorough. A precision prevention model that focuses on working with men to help them achieve their goals by facilitating optimal health does just that. What does a precision prevention approach look like? It is essentially an integrative medicine model, which uses science-based methods, focuses on prevention and the influence of lifestyle on health, and is open to new and cutting-edge paradigms, combining conventional therapies with